Before cities, this is how humans lived. Before cities existed, before tall buildings touched the sky, and before streets were filled with noise, humans lived in a world that was quiet, dangerous, and deeply connected to nature. There were no houses made of bricks, no shops to buy food, and no written laws to follow. Life was simple, but it was not easy. Every single day was a test of survival. Humans woke up not knowing if they would find food, face wild animals, or survive the cold night. Yet somehow, they did more than survive. They adapted, learned, and slowly built the foundation of the modern world we live in today. Imagine waking up without a roof above your head. The sky was your ceiling, and the land was your bed. Early humans did not live in cities or villages. They were nomads, which means they moved from place to place. They followed animals, seasons, and water sources. When food was finished in one area, they packed what little they had and moved on. This way of life required courage, teamwork, and deep knowledge of nature. Without maps or technology, they learned to read the land, the stars, and animal behavior. One of the most surprising facts about early humans is that they were not always fighting each other. In fact, cooperation was the key to survival. Humans lived in small groups called tribes. These groups were usually made up of families and close relatives. Everyone had a role. Some hunted animals, some gathered fruits and plants, some cared for children, and some made tools. Survival was not about strength alone. It was about working together. A single human was weak, but a group was powerful. Food was the center of life. There were no farms at first, so humans depended on hunting and gathering. Men and women both played important roles in finding food. Hunting large animals was dangerous and required planning. Humans used simple stone tools, wooden spears, and fire to hunt animals like deer, mammoths, and bison. Gathering was just as important. Fruits, roots, nuts, and seeds provided daily nutrition. Interestingly, studies show that gathering often provided more food than hunting. This balanced diet helped early humans stay strong and healthy. Fire changed everything. Before fire, humans ate raw food and lived in fear of the dark. Fire brought warmth, protection, and light. It scared away wild animals and allowed humans to cook food, making it safer and easier to eat. Cooking also helped the human brain grow by providing more energy. Fire became the heart of human life. Around the fire, people shared food, stories, and knowledge. This is where language and culture slowly began to grow. Shelter was another challenge. Early humans did not build permanent houses. They used caves, trees, and temporary shelters made from branches, leaves, and animal skins. These shelters protected them from rain, wind, and cold. Over time, humans learned to choose better places to live, such as near rivers and forests. These locations provided water, food, and materials for tools. Slowly, humans began to understand how geography could improve their chances of survival. Clothing was made from animal skins and plant fibers. At first, humans lived mostly in warm climates, but as they moved to colder areas, clothing became essential. They used bones and stones to make needles and learned how to sew. This simple invention allowed humans to survive harsh winters and explore new lands. Every small discovery opened the door to a bigger world. One interesting fact is that early humans were artists. Even without cities, money, or writing, they created art. Cave paintings found in places like Lascaux in France and Altamira in Spain show animals, handprints, and hunting scenes. These paintings are over 30,000 years old. Why did they paint? Maybe to tell stories, teach lessons, or express beliefs. Art shows us that humans were not just surviving. They were thinking, imagining, and dreaming. Spiritual beliefs also played an important role. Early humans believed that nature was alive. Animals, trees, rivers, and the sky had spirits. They respected nature because their lives depended on it. death was not the end, it was part of a cycle. Burial sites show that humans honored their dead, placing tools, flowers, and objects with them. This tells us that even without cities, humans searched for meaning in life. As time passed, humans began to notice patterns. They saw that certain plants grew again if seeds were planted. They noticed animals could be controlled instead of hunted. This understanding led to one of the biggest changes in human history: agriculture. Farming allowed humans to stay in one place. Slowly, nomads became settlers. Villages formed near rivers like the Nile, Tigris, and Indus. With farming came food storage, population growth, and new responsibilities. But farming also brought challenges. Life became harder in some ways. Diseases spread more easily, work became longer, and social differences appeared. Some people had more food and power than others. Yet, farming made cities possible. It allowed humans to build homes, develop skills, and create complex societies. Cities did not appear overnight. They were the result of thousands of years of learning, failure, and adaptation. Before cities, life was slow but meaningful. Humans lived closely with nature. They understood the land in ways we often forget today. They knew when rain would come, which plants healed wounds, and how to survive with almost nothing. Their lives remind us that happiness does not always come from comfort. It comes from connection, purpose, and community. Today, we live surrounded by buildings, screens, and noise. We rarely look at the stars or listen to the wind. But deep inside us, the ancient human still lives. We still gather around fires, even if they are digital screens. We still tell stories, share food, and search for meaning. The world has changed, but human nature has not. So next time you walk through a city, remember this: before roads and walls, humans walked freely under the open sky. They had no cities, yet they built humanity itself. Maybe the greatest lesson they left us is this: progress is important, but never forget where you came from. Because sometimes, the future makes sense only when you understand the past.